Hey, you guys, thank you for tuning in to Real News Talk. I am your Real News Talk host coming to you today with another story, you guys. This time, my story is about Felicity Huffman doing her prison time. And she's right out there in Dublin. You know, Dublin is, matter of fact, we owned a house out there in Dublin, California. That's a real quiet, nice area. It's a nice area. It's a real quiet, rich area. It is so rich in California. It's in the Bay Area, but it's more like East Bay, and it's about 5.5 hours from Los Angeles, California. And I know exactly where it is because we sold a house out there in Dublin, California. So I know that area very well, and I know that prison that she's in, and it's really not bad at all, you guys. It's a very classy prison, I would say, unlike most of the other ones. So actually, her time is not, Felicity Huffman time is not going to be very long, and plus that is not like a real bad prison at all. Even the area, so Serenity, Dublin and San Rafael and all up in there, those areas are very quite classy, I would say, and I know them very well. So actually, she only have 7 days left, you guys, to do. She have 7 days to do, and today they showed her wearing her green uniform and her Under Armour tennis shoes and a baseball cap, and she was walking to meet with her husband and her daughter. I know she can't wait, and she's probably counting those 7 days. But the reason she only got 14 days and I think 250 hours of community service, and she will be having a monitor, I think for like a year or two on her, a monitor after she gets out, is because Felicity Huffman did do it in first class act, because she did admit it. She didn't try to hang on just because she was a celebrity and say that I didn't do wrong. I didn't try to get my daughter in college. I didn't do this. I didn't do that. The lady came out and actually apologized. So that was number one, which is why they gave her this sentence. So guess what? With that, that Desperate Housewife star opened up the doors for others, because it was like, I think 93 or something that did not, 19 people that, 19 other people that pleaded not guilty. And so 3 people within 24 hours came up to the plate, because Felicity Huffman opened up that door to let them know, you better plead guilty, because if you don't, just like Lori Loughlin, she's facing up to 40 years in prison, because she just did not, she had an attitude problem. She did not want to say she did wrong when they have all the proof, because anytime those FBIs and those people, they already know what they're talking about. Why would she sit up here and not go ahead and plead guilty? She'd rather do 40 years than to say, I'm guilty. So these other people are coming up, and they're saying this. What was this guy's name? I think it was HENRIQUEZ or something like that. HENRIQUEZ and his wife Elizabeth HENRIQUEZ or something like that. They actually are pleading guilty themselves, and a JARVAS lady is pleading guilty also, because they were paying increments, like sending 25 here, 50,000 there, breaking it down in increments. And so they have gotten busted for wire fraud. There's wire fraud, sending money to have things change for their kids to get in these colleges, when all these other kids that may not have the money that their parents have, but they're smart enough to pass the test on their very own behalf. So yeah, they showed Desperate Housewife star Felicity Huffman walking in a green uniform, and she had her Under Armour tennis shoes. So she did have her designer tennis shoes on. The only thing, she just didn't have makeup on, but she had that worried look on her face, kind of like, I'd be glad when this is over, but it's really not quite that bad. And they showed the prison in the background. So I'm really, really glad that she only has 7 more days to do, because the lady really, like they said, even the people that were prosecuting her say she did it with class. If you do wrong, because everybody has done some wrong in their lives, but when you can admit up to it like a woman, like she did, she took it like a woman, she stood up like a woman, she's doing her time like a woman, she's not hiding behind her money. She did come out and say she did it, to where this Lori Loughlin, she'd rather go down with 40 years. And they're going to throw the book. If Lori Loughlin, I don't know if it's too late now, because of the fact that she didn't say, that she's guilty. It may be too late now. They probably want to throw the book to make an example out of her. But I know Felicity Huffman opened up that door where other people are now. 3 people within 24 hours decided to plead guilty, which is going to help them actually. Because if you know you did something wrong, these people have it on paperwork. You may as well say you're guilty. Because if you don't, the time is going to show that you're guilty. You see what I'm saying? So yeah, I just want to bring that to you. I'm not going to stay long, because I did see it today, and they showed her in her uniform. And so since she's been in there, 3 other people within 24 hours wants to plead guilty for their wire fraud and mail fraud. The HENRIQUEZ and his wife Elizabeth, they want to plead guilty. And also the JARVAS lady, I think her parents own Hot Pockets or something, and she was running that business for Hot Pockets or something like that. And they want to also plead guilty. So I am really, really, really happy that they are coming to their senses and not being like Miss Lori Loughlin, because she was smiling walking into the court like this is something to play with. This is nothing to play with. Can't you see that Felicity is in prison right now? Even though they may even send her to a worse prison. Felicity is only 5.5 hours away from her house, but they may send Lori Loughlin off to, they may bring her to Texas, to Gatesville or Huntsville, that death row prison, that Gatesville prison where they put Amber Geiger, the girl that shot Botham Jean in his apartment in Dallas, Texas. They may try to bring her all the way to Texas and put her in that death row prison like they put Amber Geiger. You know what I'm saying? Because of the fact that she's sitting up here lying and saying she's not guilty when they have all of the evidence to prove it. So be for real. That's why this show is called The Real News Talk Show. Be for real. Tell the truth. My mother used to say, back in the days they had old sayings, and one day I'm going to pull out, I have about 100 of them, because I was raised in the South, so they always, the old people, had these old sayings. My grandmother, my mother, like, tell the truth, snag a tooth, and they had all kind of funny stuff. And the truth is a light, and it will set you free. And and you know what? All those old sayings were true. It is so true, because what's in the dark will come to the light. Oh boy, they had some sayings. I know you guys can't wait to hear the ones I got. Oh wow, I have some good ones for you. Never let your left hand know what your right hand's doing. And my mother say, let the doorknob hit you where the dog should have bit you. And then I'm going to tell people what all of those sayings meant. And each and every one had meaning to them, which was why they were saying it. So I'm going to be coming back with that. That's going to be a show that I'm going to bring to my viewers. I want you guys to hear these old sayings, because my grandmother was like 97 when she passed. So I have a lot of hers. I have a lot of my mother's. And my mother was raised by her great-grandmother, which was my grandmother, who was 97 mother, raised my mother. So I got a lot of those old sayings from them, because they started out real early, you guys, because really I'm a great-great aunt. My nieces and nephews, children have children. Can you believe that? I'm telling you. They started out very early back in the days. because back then they didn't have birth control pills. And I think my mother and my older sister, because my nieces and nephews are almost my age. You see what I'm saying? So people just don't believe it when I tell them I am a great aunt of many, of many. I have lost count because my nieces and nephews, their children have children. You see what I'm saying? So it goes real deep. So I want you guys to be looking out for those old sayings. And I'm not going to tell you when I'm doing it because I want y'all to click like, share, and subscribe. And just keep coming back because I'm going to put that on my agenda to bring those old sayings. And that's going to be just a show all by itself. And it's going to take you all the way back in the hands of times from my great-grandmother. I even have pictures of her, and that picture ought to be almost 200 years old now. And I did write a book. I'm the seventh sibling of 8 children. And I did write a book. It's called The Seventh Sibling. So I did a script on my book. And in my book, I have pictures of my great-grandmother and my grandmother and all the pictures of the old people and all the nicknames they had. And, my grandfather was in World War I and II. And the book just goes all the way back in the hands of time. I mean, it really does. And so I want you guys to just keep clicking in on me, and eventually you're going to catch it. This is the Real News Talk Show, and with that, I'm going to go. But I just wanted to say that Felicity Huffman, the Desperate Housewives star, I have 7 more days to do in Dublin, California prison, which is, like I said, we had a house there in Dublin. And it's a very exclusive area, very quiet. It's not a bad area at all. So she's in a very smooth, cool, quiet, classy environment. Actually, that prison is nothing like the prisons that like Gatesville here in Texas, Huntsville, and all these other harsh prisons. No, she's doing it with a piece of cake out there. So you could see her walking around with her uniform, and the 7 days she just had to get a spanking for what she did. But as I said with her, I am feeling good that this is almost over for her because she had class and she did admit it. She didn't let her money try to overrule the truth. Because when it's all said and done, your money can't save you when it's time to die, and you're not taking it with you. So don't sit up here and lie knowing you had to try to pay to have your kids get in college when all these other poor kids that had the brains couldn't get in there because you use your money to get your kid into the school that actually didn't even want to go. Half of those kids didn't want to go. Half of them didn't even want to go, you guys. Half of them did not want to go to college at all, but their parents forced them to go by paying to get them into these colleges. So, Felicity Huffman, I will be happy when you get out. You can maybe call some of these other people and tell them they need to plead guilty ASAP. ASAP. Because to her, even though the prison is smooth, and I know that Dublin prison, because actually when I go to California, it's not far from where I have a house there now. It's not very far. I would say it's about 30 minutes from my house in California. And it's not a bad area at all. It is not. I love me some Dublin, California. I really love me some Dublin, California. Yeah, it's up there near all the other little nice little towns out there in the Bay Area. But it's like past East Bay. You know, you're going to go from San Francisco on around, and then you're going to go on out past Hayward, California, and then you're just going to go on up to Dublin. I know that area very well. That's where Felicity Huffman is. It's not a bad prison at all. She only has 7 days to do. She'll be out. She'll do her 250 hours of community service. And if I was her, I would call these people and tell them, plead guilty, if it's not too late. But for that Lori Laughlin, I think it's too late for her. But you guys, please click like, share, and subscribe. And don't forget, I'm going to put together a show with those old folk sayings. Tell the truth, snag a tooth. That's what somebody should tell Lori Laughlin. Tell the truth, snag a tooth. because what's in the dark shall come to the light. Go ahead and admit it so you can do your time like Felicity. Her time is almost over. She's a free woman and it's a done deal, and she'll never do it again because she was taught a lesson. Thank you for tuning in. Click like, share, and subscribe, and I'll be coming back with more. Bye.